Yeah, hi, good morning. Yeah,
Good morning, madam.
Arul Mani and Veera Raghavan, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Morning. Yeah, so let's get, hello. So
Yeah.
let's get started. I guess, Veera Raghavan, you know that it's mostly about questions that you have, etc. So
Yeah.
any questions, clarifications, please feel free.
No, as it is, no, actually. I've been looking for the right questions, actually, the solution to solve, like the problem to solve.
Okay.
We have to identify. As I told you earlier, I'm working on the sustainable production and
I see.
that's okay.
So is this a problem from your work sphere?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're trying to frame the problem now, is it?
Yes. I'm in discussion with some of the clients and I'm facing some problems. I just wanted to arrive at it. So kind of a
Okay.
real problem statement I have to arrive at.
I see. Great. So let us know if we can help you with that.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Actually, I wrote a mail last time as discussed, but I haven't got back. I didn't get reply from.
I see. Did you write to the NPTEL ID or did you write to the Biomimicry Compass ID?
Biomimicry composite.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Apologies. Let me just check if we have. Maybe it's gone to, because a couple of others wrote and we have spoken to them and responded to them, but we didn't see your email. So
Okay.
maybe it's gone to a different folder. Let me just check and get back to you.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Is there a question that you want to highlight from that, or we can just?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay. Fine. Arun Mani, hi. Hello, Arun Mani, are you here? I guess he's not here. Okay. So I guess nobody else is here.
Hello, Veer Raghavan.
Hello, sir. How are you, sir?
Okay. I just heard about that. May, I think I missed your May. I don't know. Let me reply to you today. Okay.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure. Thank you.
So the other two people have come back with a problem statement. No, to that lady Smita.
Okay.
She was there. She was not there last time. Yeah, she was there.
No. I think Smita was not there when Veer Raghavan was there.
Yeah,
So the others who
have
come with problem statements, Veer Raghavan.
Okay.
And they want to sort of take that forward, etc. So that's how
I'll do, ma'am. Actually, got held up on some client issues.
I think that's the whole thing,
See, because
the whole thing, even we tell our students in IIT also that this is a way, it's a practice, it's not just enough that you just get to know what to do, but you have to actually do it. So that's the best way to imbibe the principles. So any help you need in that, please, we are happy to help you.
Sure, definitely. I'll come back.
Yeah, sure. All right. So we had one person, but that person seemed to have dropped off. So let's probably wait for a few minutes to see if anyone is intending to join. And if not, we can probably wrap this up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, someone's just joined. Yeah, Devraj. Good morning. Hello. Devraj, did you have a question that you wanted to ask in the session?
Hello, good morning, madam. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible now, Devraj.
Sorry for the mic issue.
No issues. So the agenda is just to, answer any queries, etc. So if you have a question, please go ahead.
So I am designing a alloy wheel
Okay.
for a motorcycle using biomimicry design spiral.
Okay.
Okay. So from the defined stuff, I have created the defined question.
Okay.
Like,
What is your question, please?
how can we minimize the alloy wheel rim bend less than 4 mm without increasing the weight?
Okay.
How can we?
Now,
How can we increase? Could you just repeat it, please? It's not very clear. Your mic is a bit unclear. So could you just repeat it?
how can we reduce rim bend to less than 4 mm without increasing weight? That means high impact resistance with lightweight.
I see. So you're looking at not increasing weight, but increasing the size of something, correct?
Increasing the strength.
Strength of something. Okay.
So that it doesn't deflect more.
Right. Go ahead.
So I biologized this like how does nature offers high resistance with lightweight?
Okay.
That is my biologist question. Then I went to discover stuff. I went to ask nature. I saw 2-3 examples like honeycomb. Honeycomb structure which uses less space but very high strength. And toucan's beak. There's a bird called toucan.
Toucan.
DOUCAN.
Yeah, toucan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whose nose is very lengthy. 1/3 of its overall length. In order to attract its match and for foraging and for defense. But it has to be light enough in order to fly. Its length is 1/3 of its overall length, but the weight is 1/20th of the overall weight of the bird. How what is the strategy it follows is it has 2 layers. The nose of the bird has 2 layers. One soft foamy inside layer, one hard fibrous outside layer.
Okay.
That is what making it as lightweight as well as high stiff. Similar strategy I have followed for my design. Like one small inside layer for locking the air inside the tire, and hexagonal outside layer for the high strength with low material. So this is the approach I have followed. Now it is under modeling and virtual testing phase. Due to some confidentiality issues, I am unable to show the report and the results.
Okay.
So my question is how to strengthen the abstract portion.
How to strengthen the, I'm sorry?
Abstract portion.
Okay. How to strengthen? So you abstracted the design strategy. You want to know how to work on that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So did you look only at one organism, Devraj?
No. Many organisms I looked at from Ask Nature.
Okay. So
these two, one is token, other one is Kanikome.
okay.
Became very relevant to my case.
I see. So see, I think this is something that I allude to even in the video, that as far as the abstract is concerned, you are not ideating over there. You are just taking what is already there in the biological strategy and translating that to a general way of accomplishing the same function, right?
Correct, but in token there is a material change,
Right.
which I cannot do for alloy wheel.
No. So just hang on. I'm just trying to make a point here. So in abstract, what you're doing is you're only doing that translation. However, when you come to the emulate phase, you can do a bit of diverging there by saying, okay, here is something that I have as an idea from the natural world. And can I bring in some brainstorming or ideation here to build on what I already can see as a basic way of doing it? So you don't have to literally follow everything that is there in it, because the whole point of emulate is that, right? How do I use the design strategy that is inspired by a biological strategy to solve the problem that I set out to solve? And your problem that you set out to solve is, how do I increase the strength of something without adding to the weight of it? So therefore, you may have to bring in your own ideation, your own understanding of the problem to enhance that. So there is no, unfortunately, in ideation, there is no formula to say that if you do this, you will get a better idea and so on and so forth. It doesn't work like that. I'm sure you know that. So one way that we try to help is by saying, can you look at more organisms? And even if they don't seem directly relevant, can you look at functions that could be allied, or can even purposely flip it around? So I'm not sure if you've heard this example before when we talk about, and maybe I talk about this in the video, about sensing movement in the dark, right? So instead of saying making something visible, you purposely look at a function of hiding something and see if that can lead you to some organisms. And based on the abstraction of that, when you come to emulate, can you get some ideas from that as well? So this is one way that we do suggest to practitioners, that can you kind of broaden your thinking from what you already are thinking about in terms of the problem that you're trying to solve, to something that will give you a little more divergence in terms of saying, okay, can I look at something else that can throw up more concepts or ideas at me? So that is one thing that I can suggest, because it has worked well for a couple of others who had a similar dilemma, to say that, okay, how can I build on what I already did? So this is something that maybe will work for you. And I cannot give you a specific answer, because you know the problem best in terms of the alloy wheel and what is it that you're trying to do and all that. But I would think that maybe if you iterate a bit on the looking at a function which is related, and maybe even flipping the function and trying to see whether you can get an organism and get a concept out of that. So for example, and this is just a suggestion, that you're talking about doing increasing strength without increasing weight. Maybe you can look at the opposite, saying, okay, how does something become heavier? And see if that gives you some sort of concept that you can work with in the emulate phase. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Because many times, and this, I can talk from personal experience, because when you are looking in engineering and design, and I have been guilty of this myself, that we are so close to the problem that we think only of certain ideas and certain ways of doing things. And the endeavor in such processes is to purposely try to break that pattern in our head and say, can we look at a different pattern here, so as to broaden our understanding of this, and therefore broaden our thinking by way of how it can be solved.
Correct. So we are in the last week of the course. So now, till now, the course has been very interesting and informative.
Okay.
Thanks to all the lectures, case studies, live examples. Very assignments are very good type of apply kind. It's not like remember kind. It's like apply kind.
Okay.
So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Thank you very much for clearing our doubts in Ask a Question portal in NPTEL.
Right, right.
This nature's unifying patterns. I have some difficulty in finding the best one.
Right, right. So you're talking about, given a scenario, how will you identify? That's what you're talking about?
Like, for example, there is a heat exchanger example in
Okay.
the assignment 6 question.
Okay.
Wherein heat energy is recycled to heat the fresh water from old water.
Okay.
In this case, nature recycles all materials. According to me, that is the best one.
Right.
But you are saying nature uses only the energy it needs.
Okay.
It's there is a contradiction. How to?
Right, right. So let me look at the this is assignment 6, is it?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
What is the question number, please?
4, I think.
Okay.
4.
Okay, you're talking about heating homes and offices is a major source of energy. That's the one, yeah?
Yes.
So you are saying, okay, so the answer
I
is...
am saying the best answer is nature recycles all materials.
Right.
Materials.
So the thing here is, Devraj, what you need to think about is, this is clearly talking about the scenario is talking about heating homes, basically heat being a major expense of energy, right? And it's the scenario is talking about how the energy is being wasted, so to speak. And therefore, how do we prevent some wastage of energy and use an energy that could potentially be wasted to do something else? Now,
that is what called recycling.
Technically, yeah, hold on. So technically what I could, yeah, Shiva, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, you finish it.
So technically, Devraj, see, you are saying that it could be recycled material. Now, many times, and this is something that happens a lot, that you can make a case for a lot of the other principles as well. Because by nature, the design principles are not in silos. They are broad patterns that you see, which are kind of intermeshed in many of the conditions that we see in many of the strategies that we see in nature. So therefore, which is why the question is worded as, what is the one that best fits the scenario? Now, nature recycles materials, and I don't want to get too much into things like a specific word or a specific phrase, but clearly nature recycles material is talking about a recycle of materials, whereas here we are talking mostly about energy usage. Now, I could make a case for saying recycles, we are recycling energy, etc. But however, the pattern that best fits here is, because we are talking about energy usage, is that you're talking about using the energy it needs and relying on freely available energy. Remember, the second part is the clue here. So that's why the best fit is considered to be the energy one and not the recycling one. Now, you know, I don't want to beat the point here, but the whole idea of this exercise is to be able to see how do the patterns manifest in many things that we see around us. And in many cases, we will see more than one pattern in some of these scenarios, and that's fine. But the point of this is to just see the one that best fits. I hope that makes sense to you. Shiva.
Yeah, Devraj.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, you're cycling. Do you know how to cycle?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're cycling, what are you doing? You are spending energy, correct?
Correct.
So supposing you fit a mobile charger to your cycle. Suppose you cycle and then you go to your house and then you're running to your house because charge is dying in your phone. You run to your house and then you charge your phone. What are you doing? You are now cycling, and then you're running to your phone. Your house is of electrical energy. Now you're using that electrical energy to charge your phone. Correct. Supposing while you're cycling, you're using the energy from the cycling, the wheel, to charge your phone. What are you doing? You're following the same principle as nature. Nature uses only the energy and relies on freely available energy. Now, which energy is free here? The energy for the phone is free. While you're paying for the energy in your house, for electrical energy to charge your phone. Same way, you're heating water. Now you're using the same energy to do something else. Which is why it's answer number one. Answer number two, your answer, look at the meaning of recycle. What is the meaning of recycle? Recycle means it's a circular economy. It comes from somewhere and goes back to the nature. So nature produces leaves. But what happens after about 2-3 days? The leaves become again integrated into the soil. So that is the recycling thing. Why are we having such a big problem in the world today? Because plastic is not able to be recycled. So here the answer is nature uses only the energy and relies on freely available energy. Yesterday also I was thinking, supposing when I'm doing cooking, I'm using pressure cooker, right? So from the pressure cooker, from the nozzle, a lot of steam is coming out. Suppose I use that steam to boil vegetables, then with one source, I'm doing two things. Today I'm wasting the steam. The answer is nature uses only the energy it needs and relies on freely available energy. Think about the answer. See, we can go on arguing, Devraj. Go on arguing.
If I put it like this, mechanical energy in cycle is converted into electrical energy for charging the phone.
Yeah, but the same energy source, Devraj. See, I cannot argue so much. I'm saying the same energy source is feeding both the cycle and the mobile phone. While the definition of recycle, you look at the definition of recycle and we can start this conversation again.
Okay, sir. Similarly, Joel Beetle example also, some people are saying nature uses shape to determine functionality. Some people are saying nature uses chemistry that is safe to living beings. Which one is best here?
So again,
wait, Devraj, one minute. Sorry, I want to know from you. What is your answer? Don't say others are saying it.
My answer is
Devraj, one minute, Devraj.
Safe chemistry only. My answer.
Devraj, 1 minute. See, this forum is for clearing your doubts. This forum is not for clearing other people's doubts. I would like you to talk about what is your doubt. That's it.
My doubt only is.
What is your answer?
My answer is nature uses safe chemistry.
That's all. Yeah, meaning.
So, Devraj, just to give you a point here in terms of the nature's unifying patterns, the question was designed to help you think about the patterns that we can observe and the patterns that we can manifest in the things that we do. Now, as I said, it will rarely be a one-to-one sort of mapping. However, in most cases, you can see that a certain pattern is clearly being manifested in a certain case, in a certain example. And that is the point of identifying this pattern. Now, there could be some queries around, okay, why can't I talk about, and I'm sure you'll agree with me that you can make the case for almost all of the patterns if you start looking at some of the other things that happen around this particular case. For example, the heat transfer case. But what we are hoping that the example will help you do, and that's why we framed it like that, is to look at the scenario outline and specifically only the part that is outlined, rather than bringing in too much of other information that you have, because everything is a system, right? So if you look at a system of a HVAC or something, I'm sure you can bring in other patterns as well. But that's not the intent of this question. So that's all I have to say about that, because we don't want to, make it seem that it's not a system, because it is. But the intent of this question is to be able to recognize patterns so as to start thinking about how can we do the same thing, and how does one do a similar thing in other scenarios. That's the whole point.
And what is most obvious, Devraj? That's what Vinny was saying, right? What is the most obvious answer is what we are talking about. But one thing, Devraj.
Yeah, I'm listening, sir. Yes.
So one thing, but don't stop your questions, okay? Your questions is very, very nice. I like your questions. We also like your effort that you're putting into making biomimicry a way of life in your company and all that. So, see, questions and answers will always be back and forth, right? You may think something, we may think something. We have to arrive at somewhere. We have to arrive at some sort of a.
Correct, sir. That's what as Mrinalini madam said. Some questions are very clear.
Yeah.
One-to-one mapping, like the fish example. Fish example is very clear, one-to-one. The nature uses shape to determine functionality.
So,
but this nesting example, heat exchanger example, that is quite tricky.
Correct. So keep your questions coming. It's very nice to see students like you are really exploring each and every minute detail. But at some point, we'll have to come to an agreement, Devraj. That's all. Good. So how's your work? How are you spreading biomimicry in your organization?
That's what, sir. I request your time for a meeting.
That we'll talk later. We'll talk later after the call. But I'm talking about you personal. In your personal life, how are you bringing biomimicry?
This example I am doing currently, sir. Alloy wheel example.
Very good, yeah. Very nice. When are you going to start teaching?
Once it has reaches the fairly good level, I would like to take some more business challenges which we are currently facing.
Okay, very good, nice. Oh, do you know that Mrinalini and I also do a program for biomimicry in Tamil?
Not exactly, sir. I saw your website, Biomimicry Campus, wherein there are several workshops.
We are teaching school children biomimicry in Tamil. So if you're interested, let us know.
Super, sir. Yeah.
But it's a different sort of, it's a different philosophy. It is not to solve problems, but intention is to help children respect nature. That is what is our syllabus. The curriculum is around respecting nature, not for solving problems, because children are too young to understand the spiral and all.
The idea is how do you look at nature as a teacher and a mentor? So that's what the curriculum focuses on, rather than what you see currently in your course. The idea is to be able to say that, okay, there is nature, and in nature there are certain principles and designs and strategies that you could potentially use, and look at nature as a source of learning. Right. Any other, Veeraraghavan and Devraj, if you have other questions, we are happy to answer, because I don't think anyone else is joining. So accordingly, we can time this session then.
Yeah, right now I don't have any questions.
Okay,
Possibly I'll get back to you shortly.
sure.
Working on some clients so
And
that
we'll also check your email and see if there is anything that we've missed.
yeah, I'll also write back again
Okay,
in case if it
sure.
got.
Could you also check whether you have the email ID correct?
SHIVA@biomimicrycompost.com.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, we'll check it and get back to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
All right. So, Devraj, any other queries that you have to talk about? Because then if no one else is joining, then we can just kind of have this conversation and wrap up.
We can end up, madam.
Okay.
The moment I don't have any more questions.
All right. Okay.
Do we have any other session before these exams? Any plan?
So, in fact, this was the session, in case anyone has any queries before the exam and all that, but it looks like there's not much of thing over there. So if you have since you're here, if you have a specific query, feel free to write to us. We can help you clarify. Same goes for Devraj, of course.
Any tips for us? Any tips for us, madam, for exam?
What is this? Use that last minute when I was studying, Devraj, when I was studying law college, no.
Yeah.
Usually in India we do last minute studies, right? At least for me, I used to do last minute studies. So there was one book, I don't know whether it's still available. There was one book called 30 Questions at a Glance. You won't believe it, Devraj. Suppose tomorrow is taxation exam. Then today we go to the shop and buy 30 questions at a glance.
Well, it's the same in engineering, let me assure you.
In those 30 questions, we normally only see about 5 or 6 questions.
Choice again.
Is that book available nowadays?
No, I haven't seen it at all.
Anyway, Devraj, in answer to your question, see, the idea, just like the assignments, is going to be that it will be similar, it will be, of course, there will be some longer answer type questions as well, just to kind of reflect on what you've learned, etc., because that's a requirement for the course. So ideally, I would not like to do something like that, but then it's a requirement for the course that we do conduct a long exam. So it will be a closed book exam, and it will be a combination of one-word answers, short answers, MCQ kind of questions, and a few long answers. And even the long answers are not going to be like, you don't have to write long essays type of thing. And in fact, I think I have mentioned a suggested word count in most of them. So you just have kind of take that as a guideline and write, in briefly in key points. That's more than enough. So it's an idea is to just kind of check your understanding and find out, maybe areas that you don't understand fully yet type of thing. So it's not, I mean, I hate to say it's an exam like that, but that's what it is. And because the course requires it, I've given it as an exam. So
what is the split, madam?
Well, I don't remember off because I sent this paper quite a while ago. I think the paper will be totally for 100 marks. And you'll probably have maybe like a 70-30 split, something like that.
Don't next time you come on a call, don't say you said 70-30, it is only 65-35, please.
No.
So I'm sorry, I don't remember, because these things happen quite early in the cycle. We set the papers long ago and we give it to NPTEL because they do all the administration. So we just kind of give the materials to them and they do the rest of it. So I don't really remember how much I put the split as. In fact, we give a bank and they create it out of it. So question bank. So yeah. So don't worry, Devraj, it's especially for a person like you who has been looking at every single point, it's not going to be a problem at all. I'm sure you will
make other people nervous.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
All right.
All right. So thank you. Thank you for your questions and everything. And we hope to stay in touch. Happy to answer further queries if you want to also.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Bye.